on, guys? Am I live? Somebody tell me if I'm live. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you guys what happened last week once you tell me if you got somebody can hear or see me. Got a thumbs up? You can hear and see me. She's right across from me. Oh, all right. Anybody give me a thumbs up? Good audio, good visual. Oh, I miss Mark here. Absolutely. You're live. All right, there we go. That took a little while. There we go. Now we got the thumbs up. Last week, I went to go live. I'm sitting there talking. My clock is counting. I'm like, why can't anybody hear me? Can anybody guess what I did? Anybody that goes live, can you possibly guess what I did? Never did it before. It was quite funny when I found out what I did, but I'm just going to tell you guys. Evidently, when I set my live stream up, I set it up for Facebook, not YouTube. So I guess I was live on Facebook somewhere in Facebook land. So wild hair. So yeah, disconnected mic. No. Yeah. All right, guys, let's say hi to some people. Jane is in the house. I mean, in the house. We're trying to freeze her out here in Missouri, but coming from New York, I don't think that's going to be possible. Patty A, first in the house, saying happy Tuesday. Debbie Conan, good to see you, my friend. Thrifty Angela in the house. Jackie Dodson, baby, it's cold outside. I almost made that the title for tonight. I was going to write, baby, it's cold outside. And I thought somebody would have something to say about that. Wondering me, Ma. Good to see you, Cindy. Thanks for coming in. All right. Burr is right. 31 in Charlotte. I know that's cold for you guys. 28 here in St. Louis, but feels like 21. It feels like 22 here at the shop right now. And I am telling you, it's cold. And the concrete is cold. And my mini split is set at 76 degrees. Jane and I are in complete agreement that it is not 76 in here. It is not. Heat rises, I guess. I got 8-foot ceilings in here. The mini split is at the ceiling. I think the thermostat is on the mini split. I think up there. So I think I'm going to make some bunk beds next week, and I'll sleep about 4 inches from the ceiling, and I should be good. That's a good idea. A hammock. I'll just swing a hammock from the ceiling. It's strong enough. A lot of people here on their phone, can't tag, saying hi to everybody. Surfing Dodo. Floss says it feels like 9. I'm not going to quit crying. 22 is still cold. Adele is here. Said it's a nice day in Southern Cal. I bet it is. Must be Burr front everywhere. I have no idea where Jekyll Island is. Do you know where Jekyll Island is? I have no idea. Where is Jekyll Island? That's a good question. Let's see if it's by Savannah, Georgia. There you go. We love this place. I am crying about the cold when it gets down to 36 at night. There you go. I honestly, when it gets below like 40, like my bones get cold. And if I don't take a hot shower or get underneath a heating blanket, I feel like my bones just don't warm up. I'm not kidding you. Just telling Jane, last night we got done working. I didn't get done working until about 6:30. I was in bed under my covers watching a Christmas movie by 7:30 because I just couldn't warm up. And here at the shop, I got enough hot water to wash, but not to warm my bones. So I didn't want to do that because then when you get out, you're cold. So I was like, under the covers by 7:30 last night. No editing, no working, just watching Christmas movies. Enjoying it. Heard you guys were having a bonfire, so came to warm up. I need some kind of a wood burning stove in my office. If I could vent it out. The roofs are 16 feet though. I'd have a pipe a mile long. Dale is in the house from cold Massachusetts. I know I need to quit whining. Looks like around 30 degrees. Shoot me now, she says. I hate the cold. I tell you, and most of the people that have worked with me know that's why I leave in January and February, because we're out there. Jane was out there helping me work on my van. We made it, what, an hour? We probably made it about an hour, 45 minutes, because I'm like, I'm done. It's cold. It's just cold. And I can work when it's 100 degrees. But, oh my goodness, when it gets cold and I get chilled, I've got extra weight to keep me warm now. It's not working. It's not working. So I guess I can't complain. It is December. I know, but January and February, I remember many, many, many times playing football with the kids at Christmas, and we were in t-shirts. So it's a cold winter, and I'm okay with it because it kills the bugs, but it's a little early. I'd like to be in quartzsite before it gets much worse. I'll tell you what happened to me yesterday. I had some clients come up and get a refrigerator cabinet built. Well, I knew it was going to take about a day, a little bit over a day. So we let them stay in the shop because it's warmer inside the building here. And then they were on my shore power, good to go. But 7 o'clock last night, I'm at my computer answering emails, looking at videos, doing whatever. And I thought, my Blue Eddies are in my van at the campground. And what do I tell everyone? Take care of your batteries. So I got in my car, pulled my car down to the campground because they're heavy. I'm not going to carry them up the hill. So I put them both in my trunk and brought them into my office. So safe and sound, snug as a bug. Lynn says tonight it will be 17 degrees. I'm plugged into my sister's house with space heater plugged in, keeping my garage warm with my water pump and the lithium battery. Yep. Let's see here. Where are you, Stephanie? Illinois. I'm sure she's in Illinois. Home for the holidays. Jane is in the house saying hi to everybody. Hi, Jane. I did a wave. Oh, okay. We're going to behave. Nancy Roberts is in the house. Good to see you, friend. My nose is healing. It's still painful because it's healing. Yeah. So if I smile, ooh, it hurts.
There's no ointment you can add to it to give it.
Ointment, I do have some. It's on my nightstand. It's on my nightstand, yeah. I put it on twice a day. So I'll put it on at bedtime. Oh, okay. Yeah. Rose says you're live. I'm behind. All right, guys. There's somebody in the chat, and I'm not sure if you'll recognize them, but you might let's tell me if you guys can recognize this person. I cut it before they started talking. Who could that be? Greetings from coastal Texas. Good to see you, Deb Long. Good to see you from Indiana. Let's see here. Lynn saying hi. Disconnected I'm way behind. I am so far behind. Bored Grandma Designs, welcome in. Thanks for coming in. HK, welcome in from Michigan. I know these guys are like, why are you complaining about 22 degrees, 15 degrees in Michigan? Floss is in the house, or Helen is in the house. Good to see you, Helen. Hope you are enjoying your mini break. 19 degrees in Virginia. Kathleen Kine, below zero is cold. This is just annoyingly chilly. Oh, it's annoyingly chilly. My name is Is it Layla or Leela? Layla? Probably Layla. And it's also cold in Florida. I just had a client call me from Florida having some heater issues. Not fun. He said it's cold in Florida. 32 here in Washington State. Elva Faye, welcome in. Thanks for coming in. Loft over the office for cold nights. Absolutely. Get a fan going to blow the heat down. That's a smart idea. Very smart idea. 62 degrees in Black Canyon City, Arizona. Had a high of 81 today. Jealous. 55 where I am. Oh, you guys are so lucky. So lucky. I'm going to try and catch up. Let's see here. Cheryl is in the house. Thanks for coming in, Cheryl. I'm laying under a heating blanket right now. My dogs are under it too. Maddie's a snuggler too. Right now, I run a 200-watt heater all night that keeps me warm. 200-watt heater. That'd be interesting to get the specs on. That's low wattage. I mean, a lot of people could handle that. I haven't worn a coat in Michigan for 6 years now. Not a fan of hot. Oh my gosh. It's too cold. Tawana's in the house. Hi, Tawana. Hi, Robin. Last we got 3 inches of snow. We only have a few days a year that's below 32. That's why we all go there. Hello. I'm 2 hours north of Pahrump right now. At a hot springs. It's 30, but 50 during the day. Ugh. A space heater in the van, keeping the dog and batteries warm. There you go. All right, guys, I'm going to try and, we got some guesses. Bree, Tim, hi, Deborah Miller, Tim, Les, Sean, Tim, Les, Time, Tim, Les, Bree. It's funny, a lot of you guys are guessing Bree. I need to get a new solar battery. There you go. Yep. It is Tim. It is Tim. He sent me that and he said, you can share it on the live streams. Susan is home and Sue got a new heater installed today. So she shall be warm this winter. So lucky here. Great sunset and 47 degrees. I'd be okay with, that's what I'm saying, above 40 and I'm not going to cry. Sorry, can't stay. Thanks for coming in, Linda. Appreciate you. Jill Morgan in the house. Nice new muffler. Nice tailpipes. Loving you got the heater in. Yep, absolutely. All right, I am caught up. I caught up real quick. Desert Deb in the house. Good to see you, Desert Deb. Low 22 in South Carolina. I never think of low temperatures like that in South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia area. I always think when I got a phone call from Florida tonight because we couldn't get a heater running, I was like, Florida, why do you have a heater running? But it is what it is today. My water's ice cold, straight from the shelf out in the shop. Straight from the shelf. So, aerators in the pond, so the pond should not freeze. So far, everybody here, batteries are doing good. The heaters that have all been installed, except for the one, which I think it's a wire somewhere, but everybody's got good heat. I knew it was Tim. Most of my family are Filipino. I have no idea the correlation. I have no idea that.
Moving a little fast for less, so I thought maybe I was wrong about that.
Oh, yeah? Come in. Somebody's out there. Somebody's knocking. Should I let them in? Who sings that?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Who sings that? Desert member for 22 months. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny when you watch your videos all the videos that I did on like diesel heater install, the velvet heater install, all those watch hours are just climbing because everybody's Googling putting heaters in right now. It's the acorns. It's the acorns. That hurt. That makes that hurt. Oh, that's funny. K and Plam, thanks for coming in. I'm new here. My name's Patricia. And at what temperature do you take your battery inside? I would say a consistent 30 degrees. You don't want it freezing. My gas Webasto is a big disappointment. Doesn't make heat worth a darn. Wow. Webasto says it's fine. Oh, Bev's won't hers. We moved her dial this winter. Sean moved it over. I didn't even test it, but she had a DC air conditioning unit, and the DC and the AC, we had it where one could be plugged in, and when you were done with the AC unit, all you had to do was switch over the Wagoos and plug in the DC, the Webasto, and that never happened. So, she is in Florida frantically looking for a Webasto wire that she can plug in. So Johnny knows it was me. I sent her the video. I know it was you. I knew that. I have a question on a Class C motorhome. Does the furnace fumes, it jumped. Furnace fumes go out through some pipe that the generator exhaust goes out? I don't know that, but I cannot believe that they would be linked. And you can tell if you climb underneath your Class C and look at your exhaust, you would have to see some kind of Y. And I would say that that's probably a no-no. I would be looking for a different exhaust on your furnace. And I honestly would look on the top of normally furnaces vent out the roof. So I'm not a Class C expert by any means. In our houses, in our homes, furnaces vent out the roof. You should have like some kind of a white or silver pipe up there. It probably has some kind of a chimney type thing on it. That's probably your heater exhaust. That would be my guess. Other than that, YouTube it because YouTube knows everything. There's a video on everything. Jane, I watched your video. How do you get in your bed? Steps. You got a step, don't you?
Yeah, it's a foldable step.
A foldable step. Mm-hmm. A foldable step. Anyone know how to fix a generator? Nope. Is it a gas generator? If it's a gas generator, check the spark plug first. If it's not a gas generator, don't know. Never gets above 55. That's crazy. I think something's wrong with your Webasto because Les and Bernadette have a Webasto. Becoming Bev has a Webasto, and they both love it when it's working. Bev's works. It's just not wired yet, but it was last year. The generator is separate. Absolutely. Paul McCartney also did let him in. Hi to everyone I missed. The furnace exhaust comes out the side of the Class C. It always says it's hot. There you go. There's somebody that has a Class C. I'd like a wood burning stove in my van. I know a lot of people that like, oh, I would love that. And then I know some people that did it and it's like, it is hot in here. The only thing about that for me would be the area that it takes up because it has to have space, that you're protecting the wall, you're protecting the ceiling. So
just chop the wood up into tiny
little bitty pieces of wood. Yeah. If your power station is on at night running something, will it freeze? It can. Typically, if it's running, it will it'll create heat because it's running. But if it's only running something that's 8 watts, it's not producing a lot of energy. Therefore, it's not getting real warm. And it really depends on the temperature outside. So, depending on the ambient temperature inside the van, for how many hours it could still drop. Now, it's really not an issue with these batteries getting cold. They're not efficient cold. They're not efficient real hot. But the problem is when it freezes, you don't want to try to charge it because it's got a battery monitoring system in there. So when you're trying to charge something that's frozen, that creates the problem. So unplug your solar panels, unplug your AC charging cord so that it's not charging. If it's not charging and it's running, powering stuff, you should be okay. I've used mine in very cold temperatures outside. Even with the solar plugged in, it's gotten pretty cold, but it's never frozen. If you're trying to charge a refrigerator, that's pretty many watts. You're probably going to be okay. But I don't know what you're charging. Sean's in the house. Good to see you, Sean. Thanks for coming in. My class B comes out the side. That's what Tim said. Perfect. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what you don't know until you know. Until you know.
So I should go turn my heater on.
My heater what?
I should go turn my heater on in my van.
Oh. Oh, I mean, how long you had? It's been warm for hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the core temperature has to get below freezing.
Oh, okay.
So it takes a while for that to get cold.
Okay.
No exhaust on the roof. Generator is out the side of the Class C. Furnace is on the side. Perfect. Thanks for answering that 5 minutes ago. I'm behind. 72 watching. Yay. Hit the like button. Johnny, does Bev, Les, and Bernadette have the ST or the Evo? I believe it's the STC. It's the 2000. STC 2000 sounds right. It's something 2000. Do you have the Evo? Look at me yawning. I woke up early. I woke up at 3:30 this morning. I couldn't go back to sleep because I fell asleep early. I'm gonna double check that email real quick while I'm looking. Simply My Journey. Thanks for coming in. Hang on just a second. I got an email from Webasto once I ordered the replacement. Hey now.
I thought I stepped in here for a second, but you're way over there.
Oh, it's probably not going to pull up right now. I'm pretty sure she's got the 2000. So I went to bed at 3:30 a.m. I woke up at 3:30 a.m. I did fall back asleep at about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and slept till about 8. But I don't know why I'm still I don't know why I'm yawning. I grabbed a Blue Eddy for backup during the Black Friday sale. I hope it was a great deal. Most of the Black Friday sales that I saw, whether you got a Jackery, an EcoFlow, a Anchor, a Yeti, Blue Eddy, they were good deals. The B300K was $1,000, so that was a good deal. Lois Brady, you will be ready when you get one. Hope it's a good deal. Let me see what Lois said. She's actually up here in St. Louis. Hi, all. I just bought a Blue Eddy Elite and don't even have a van yet. You know what? I was just reading on the Elite, and the Elite does not have an aviator port, I think. I think the Blue Eddy only has the 12-volt cigarette adapter. And that is why I didn't That's why I wasn't a fan. Yep. Bluetti Elite 2000V. It's got AC ports and it's got a 10 amp DC port. Here's the thing that I don't like about the 10 amp DC port, besides that it's not a real stable connection. The other thing is, just like Jackery and some of the other units, if you want to not do a fuse block, say you've got a minivan build, you don't want a fuse block, you just want to run a couple cords back to the Bluetti, the 10 amp is an issue for some heaters. So if you're putting a 12 volt heater in your van and all you've got is a 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter port, you could have a problem. So with that being said, it's not a deal breaker. Make sure that if you buy a heater, that you buy one that does not exceed 10 amps. And you got to think about it. If you've got a refrigerator and a heater, you got to make sure that the combined amperage does not go over, honestly, doesn't go over 9 amps. You really don't want to max out your amp on a cigarette lighter port. That baby will burn your fingers. It'll get so hot. You'll reach over there and whoo, it'll feel like fire. Don't people get the Elite for DC to DC compatibility? The DC to DC compatibility is a small, it's called something else. If you look up the Bluetti 200L, it's going to offer it as a package, and it's small. That's the thing that you can plug the 200L into to step down those volts, because the 200L is 48. The aviator port is 48 volt output. And if you, depending on the van system you've got, most people don't have a 48 volt system. Some people have a 24 volt system, but not a whole lot have a the Charger 1, that is the Bluetti DC to DC charger. It's not a step down unit. That is a DC, your car battery, to your Bluetti charger. But if you install that, you can't charge with your solar at the same time. So if you have 600 watts of solar on your van, don't get the Charger 1 unless you only plan on using it like for rainy days and that kind of stuff. It's got 575 or 550 input watts on it though, so that's nice. Bought the Charger 1 DC DC with cable for $250 on Black Friday. Awesome. Let's see here. I have been buying all kinds of van stuff without a van. Oh no. Don't overdo it, because there's times when you can't return stuff. I got the Jackery 3000, but I won't be able to hook that to my roof panels, correct? Yep. So it would have to be my backup. The problem with Jackery is they really like only using Jackery panels. I do believe there might be some adapters that you can buy. I did try working with a client who had ordered several adapters, and I will say none of them worked. So, and she had 200 watts, 24 volts solar panels. And I wasn't sure the amperage. New subby, do you prefer cold temps or humid West Coast? I'll tell you, I'm not good in the cold. I'm not good in the cold. Below 40 though, I've tent camped in 20 degrees. If I'm expecting it to be cold, I'm okay. But like my feet get cold real easy. I'm kind of done. St. Louis near Maplewood. We're close neighbors. You are close neighbors. Yep. I got all kinds of St. Louis friends. Jackery are they are. And to my knowledge, because I really don't research them a lot, they're not lithium iron phosphate unless the newer one is. And honestly, it really is that charging. It's the being able to charge with you, like my solar panels. I haven't had a battery that I could not charge. So, I will slow down on my purchases. Honestly, there's a certain amount of things that you can buy. If you're dead set on your solar panels and you know what you're going to put on your roof when you get it, then get a couple. But if you get a transit and you want to max air fan up there, only get 2. If you're getting a ProMaster and you want to max air fan up there, get 3. So your solar panels are fine. Max air fan is fine. Windows are fine. Most of that stuff are fine. There are certain things, depending on water tanks. I wouldn't buy water tanks. I wouldn't, like if you want to get your water pumped, I would reach out to me if you need a new water pump, because I started using a new one by pure accident, and it is the quietest pump that I have come across to date. They don't charge fast either. Yep, Hobotech does a video on adapters for Jackery. Check that out. And because he is obviously knows what he's talking about. But get the right adapters. Use his links. So Debbie, your van was cool. Had everything you needed for a short visit. Absolutely. Are you going to Quartzsite? She's not. She is not. One of these days, we're going to get her to Quartzsite. We're going to get her on a cruise before we get her to Quartzsite, probably. We're talking about February.
For the cruise?
Yeah, we're talking about cruising in February. We're gonna get a group together. A group to misbehave. I made it work for me, but only a short time. Yep. I'll tell you, there's certain things, like when you're trying to do van life, whether you've got a Connect. I had a Ford Econoline for a while. At a certain point, it's just like you want to stand up. And I can't, there's so many people that say, I'll be fine. Look at Bob Wells. He just went backwards. And he knows, because he's been doing it for a long time. And his pros of having a car outweigh the cons of having the tall ambulance. Did I say that right? Yeah. You know what I mean? He weighed them out. He lived in them both, and he did. But I just feel like, as women, maybe I feel like men too, like having a minivan or a car camper, or it's nice to get you going. But for long term, I want to retire and see the country. You really need that headroom. And whether you get a why am I drawing a blank, Patty Augustine? What van do you have? Something Tech. Van Tech? No. Road Trek. A Road Trek or a mid-roof Transit ProMaster or a high top. I just feel like at some point you're going to want to reinvest. When is the RTR out there? It's in Arizona, and it's like the 7th
of January.
What is it?
7th of January.
7th of January, like 7th, 8th, 9th is the women's RTR, and then the full RTR, the unisex RTR is after that. I saw Bob Wells' new car, and he has a trailer. Yep. All right. At least I didn't see the trailer yet. He did say something about a cargo carrier or something. Yep. Starts the 7th. I call BS. If Bob could heave a running ambulance or other vehicle, he could move around it in easier. Leave a running ambulance, other vehicle. Yeah. Love the mid-roof Transit. I told Santa I'd be good. Hey, let Santa know we'll vouch for you. We'll vouch for you. I was thinking only because he has a trailer, will he be able to make it work? Well, and that's what he was saying about putting all his stuff in there. He even talked about even going to the bathroom. He's been doing it a long time. I feel like at some point he'll be back in the ambulance or a van. I feel like he's lightening his load right now and he's able to do more Alaska stuff. I feel like he went to Alaska, got the sightseeing bug, hanging out with his son bug, and I feel like he wants to do that. I don't think as of yet he said he was selling the ambulance. I don't know if he's going to park it on his property, but Santa is not listening to me this year. I bought the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max. Hope it works with my Jupiter 1500 watt inverter. Yes. Because the EcoFlow has a charging mode. You can charge it at like max or you can charge it at normal. So that should be fine. It should be fine. I think he will use the trailer for toilet and shower. He wants to do Alaska more. That's why. Yep, I heard that. Bob needs a Midwest van builders ban. Right? Yes, he does. He's going to have to wait till 2026. I can tell you that. We are booked. I love it. Yep. Loving it. I purchased a Oops Mega 1 with extra battery, gave up my van build and went to a 6x10 cargo trailer. I've actually seen a couple of people do the cargo trailer route. To charge from the car battery. Yes. Yep. I was telling Jane 2026, you better get on the list, girl. No cuts in line. I'll tell you, John, Linda, Nancy, Ruth, Taya, Patty, and Kurt would have a cow if Bob hopped the line. Bob's not hopping the line. Oh, that would be funny. No cut in line, buddy. Oh, I'll tell you. There's a couple of people that I look up to as a van builder, like George from
Does the electrical?
What?
He does the electrical stuff.
No, George is up in New Jersey area. Why am I drawing a blank? Humble Road. And so, and obviously we all look up to Bob. So I would die if anybody ever was like, oh, hey, I did my second client said I was going to have George from Humble Road do it. And I went with you instead. And I was like, what? What? But there's a little bit of a price difference there, I'm sure. I remember, Dee, that was the first time I saw you. Everybody's slamming me with Humble Road now. I know. Why was I drawing a blank? I was dreaming. Guys, I'm not kidding you. I was dreaming last night that George was at my shop and he was walking. How many vans did I have here? I was walking from van to van looking at my work. And yeah, so we were just chatting about it like old friends. I was like, the stuff I dream about. I still do the low roof because I go to Anza Borrego and 4-wheel drive in the slot canyons in my. Oh, I get it. Exactly. The reason why you have the van you have has to because of the way you're using it. For me, most of the people that I do van builds for, they're people that they're not off-roading. They're not in the slot canyons trying to get. We even talked about that one night with about Tim Augustine. The tires that he uses are not the tires that we have on our van because we don't go to those places. But you gotta, so your van meets your need right now. In 5 years, it may not. Regarding the cold West Coast, I'm trying to determine which is easier on my van home. Do you feel like excessive humidity is difficult for most van homes or cold temperatures are easier? Oh, gotcha. So I honestly feel like my van has done fine with the humidity. Now, the Midwest, how humid is it? The West Coast, obviously, I think you guys have different periods of humidity where it's worse. The cold is just really like maintaining the batteries. Sean's got batteries that have internal, they stay warm. He doesn't have to do anything to his lithium batteries. It really depends on the setup that you have. Obviously, the lower humidity that you can be in overall, the best on your van. And it also depends on the type of build you have, because my hair is a mess. Oh my gosh, van hair don't care. When I get wings, it's time to go see my friend. So it really depends on, because if you've got a van build that has a bunch of laminate in it, or certain things like that don't hold up to the humidity as well as like a solid wood. Things can start to peel. Bev's got wallpaper in her van. I said, you really got to watch the humidity. You really got to watch the heat. So that does make a difference. But I'm not a cold fan. I can do things in my van. I can hang those things to help pull the moisture out of the air. The kind of unit that you heat your van with is a real big humidity issue. So if you're in cold weather and you're using a propane heater, that's a lot of humidity that you're putting into your van. If you've got a space heater, and you're on shore power half the time, that's a real dry heat. You don't have to worry about it as much. So all kind of things. Take the Jeep. I feel like it's hard to maintain a comfortable temperature with my diesel heater, but constant humidity and rain seems to do more damage. Yep. I'm going to say this, and I'm telling you, across the board, if there was one person that could dispute it in any form, fashion with a solution, I am all ears. The hardest thing in van life is temperature regulation. The floor is always freezing cold. The heat is always high. It's drafty. It's hot. It's cold. It's like you got cold air coming from the windows. You've got steel that's not covered, that's cold, is that radiant heat, radiant cold? It's impossible to have a constant, comfortable temperature in van life. It's like a yo-yo. So, and that's just my experience. And I got my hair cut yesterday. No bragging. I'll make Jane take the scissors to mine. Yeah. Let's see. You did a great thing with rims and tires. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because she's off grid a lot. So Mark did the same thing. He's off grid a lot. Put nice tires on his van. Yes, I'm really happy with them. I sleep in my SUV. Yeah. Easy. Radiant cold floors. Yep. Cleaning the that's yeah. I climb under the down comforter. That's what I'm saying. You have to, like, van life is about finding heat and keeping cool, staying warm and keeping cool. It's about, like, you literally are thinking about it 70% of the year, because think about how often you're just comfortable with the temperature inside your van. You're either covering up with more blankets, you're either uncovering with fans on you. It's tough. Get a C. Get a C. I froze in my previous van, no insulation, couldn't stand up in that one either. The insulation, I feel, is a huge factor. It's also a huge factor on keeping your batteries in that at a good temperature, like tonight. If you run your van, you're driving all day, You get to where you're going, you've got your van warm. If you don't have to open up any doors to climb out and let the dog potty, put your covers up over your windows and maintain that heat for a little while. So good insulation will do that. And that's why I have got the ultimate insulation in my rebuild. Ultimate. I suggest a 60-pound Weimaraner to combat the cold. Absolutely. Temperature control, not only for me, but my 2 dogs. One's a husky. Absolutely. And honestly, dogs like it cooler than what you like it. So now you've got the van at a temperature that you like, and the dogs aren't happy because the dogs typically don't want to be that hot. Whether it's the fur, in the winter, they've got more fur because it's their defense to keep them warm. Maddie burrows under blankets to stay warm. So it's a constant, like, what am I going to do? I have a quilt and a wool blanket. They keep me comfortable sleeping. Absolutely. And that's most people in van life. You have enough blankets or a heating blanket or whatever to keep yourself warm. And then in the middle of the night, when you've got to get up and go to the bathroom, you've got warm socks or house slippers or whatever is going to keep you from going into shock from stepping on that cold floor. I'm just saying, put your toilet on top of a rug that's that thick. My dogs get too warm and start panting. Absolutely. And then in the summer, when you think you're warm in the van, they're warm. So it's a constant battle. Good evening. Do you use any closed cell spray foam in your builds? I do not. Multiple reasons. Because most people will overspray. When you overspray, if you don't, all you got to do is go on the outside of your van and push on your van with your thumb and watch the steel move in and out. The steel on these vans are unbelievably thin. I mean, unbelievable thin. So when you spray foam, it's not uncommon to see people that have used spray foam, and you can see it on the outside of their van. The other thing is, I did an installation video where I tested rigid foam, spray foam, Thinsulate, and Havelock wool, and spray foam caught on fire pretty quick, and the black fumes that came off of that was quite scary. Now, with that being said, I know a lot of people that put it in the ribs. I'm not opposed to that. Practice using it. Don't overspray it. There's all kind of holes in the ribs for the excess to come out. So in the ribs in that, you do you. But for the hard to reach areas, I like using the Havelock wool, or I'll take Thinsulate and take the black backing off of it and use that and shove it. But yeah, rigid foam is hard to get all the little areas. Rigid foam has a slightly higher R value. But again, there's going to be a whole lot of areas that you can't get to because it's square and you're going to end up with a hot mess trying to fill in all those spots. What'd you do for insulation in your rebuild? When you tore it apart, your insulation had fallen. So what did you do? I'm going to share it with you guys. The Havelock wool had fallen. I had a feeling that was going to happen just after, the van. I'm not saying it was drafty or cold any more than what I've seen other people's vans, but I just had a feeling that it probably was going to do that because I did have to take one wall off to put in some windows and it had fallen. So I knew the rest of the van had probably fallen as well. So I fixed that. Then I put up a complete layer all over of 3M Thinsulate. And on top of my Havelock wool, I had put Reflectix. it was already cut. I already had it. So I put it back up. So I have Havelock wool, Thinsulate, and Reflectix behind all my walls. And it will be in Sunday's video. So if you want to check that out. Yeah, I'll tell you, as far as insulation, I couldn't get Havelock wool to catch fire, really. It just kind of like melted. Thinsulate, couldn't get it to catch fire. The rigid foam and the spray foam insulation caught fire with no problem. Lots of black particles flying in the air. Granted, your van catches fire. I mean, but how's the van? My van? My van is doing good. My van's doing good. Got my beds in, got my cabinets. I got all kinds of stuff going. Galley cabinet frame is done. Floor's in. The garage is in. It looks good. I don't know if Lynn's still in here. Unbeknownst, I did not do it on purpose. Lynn and I have the exact same floor. I did not know that's what she bought. We were cleaning up the shop today, and I had a leftover box. She had a couple of leftover pieces, and I was like, this looks like mine. And Sean goes, I thought you were using her extra. And I was like, no, I bought all new stuff. So anyway, so that's so funny. She's going to get it done before Q. Boom. That's because I got helpers. I had a helper polyurethaning for me today. But I'll tell you, like on the weekend, I got a lot done a couple of weekends ago. 2 weekends back to back. One weekend I had help. The next weekend I was by myself. I got all kinds of stuff done. This last weekend was the holiday, so I didn't get that much done. Kelly and I are taking another cruise, so I will have this weekend. So I'll get my galley done this weekend. I'll get my overhead cabinets done. So I'm moving right along. I am moving right along. Lily's in the house. Good to see you, Lily. That was an awesome informational video. Foam was horrible. Most people didn't know it, and they don't. But here's my thing. You always got to remember, ultimately, your van is about you. It's about what you can afford. It's about the choices that you're able to make. And if what you can afford and your skill set or whatever, if it's rigid foam, then use rigid foam. You know, every one of us use the most safety precautions possible so that we don't ever have a fire in our van. I'm just saying, for the testing purposes, that's what I did. I tested it as far as the flammability of it. I had a lot of people that asked me about it. The other things that I love about the wool and the Thinsulate is they're both hydrophobic. So if you shove them in your walls, you're shoving insulation in your walls like me. My walls are tight with insulation. Now you got condensation back there, okay? You got the normal everyday van life condensation. It's going to run right out the van. Underneath the van, you got those weep holes. It's going to run right out because that type of insulation does not absorb moisture. So you're good to go. For east to west bed, what length we need for ProMaster and what's best bed to get for vans and where to get them. I'm going to say there's a couple of different places that you can get custom-made mattresses, like custommattresses.com. Brooklyn Bedding, I think, has some different sizes. Les and Bernadette have a different brand. It's probably listed on their video. I would honestly, on a Ram ProMaster, I would just plan, if you're not going to do bump outs, the wheel wells and the rib above the wheel wells, really give yourself a problem on how wide you can go. So the maximum that you're going to go on a normal ProMaster without doing bump ups is about 70 inches. That's with 1/8 of an inch walls. I like to do on my van, I'm having shiplap. That's like 5/8. So obviously my mattress, if I was doing it east to west, would be about 69. Depending on how high your bed goes. The more you raise your bed, the narrower it gets, because that's what happens to the walls of your van. Your van tapers as it goes up. Now, it isn't a ton, but depending on the walls you use, furring strips, if you do bump ins, like I've done a couple, you can't do, it's literally insulation and then birch. You don't have furring strips stabilizing everything. So then you end up with a 65 to 70 inch bed, depending on how high it is. So, so with that being said, without paying $600 for a mattress, I would go with a memory foam mattress, because memory foam is the easiest to cut. A mattress like that. The kind of mattresses that, like back in the old days that you buy, those are hard. They're like all in a unit. They're hard to cut. So most people have to cut their mattress. So my 2 IKEA mattresses fit. There you go. I left a box. Oh, we did like bump-ins for her. So she has a normal 75-inch mattress. Call me, absolutely, Dee, absolutely. So glad I found your channel. Your honesty and authenticity is refreshing. Yay. I try to say it like it is. On occasion, on an often occasion, somebody will set me straight. Like, I don't think it's like that anymore. But I'm going to have my bed really high. You're going to have a narrower bed. Or plan on making a frame around your mattress that just bumps it in. And you're literally going to have the frame of the van, a narrow rib, it's about inch thick, and just marine adhesive your birch straight to that. And that's going to give you the maximum amount and still give you insulation. So much to learn. Gotta go. The brain cell overload. I love everything about my van. Yay. Love it. Love it. Oh man. It is 8:57. I want to give a quick shout out to all my channel members, all my Patreons. All the extra that you guys do for my channel is amazing and allows me to do some of the things that I do. And there you go. Time flies when you're having fun. That hour flew by. It flew by. It flew by. It is likely possible I'm going to be gone on a cruise the week of the 9th through the 21st. So some point in there, I will miss a Tuesday night live stream. Even when I've got any kind of internet on the ship, it's not enough to like stream like this. So there'll be a week where there's no live stream, and I'll announce that ahead of time. Tim, before you go, do you want to do a snow angel? That's a perfect angel. But Tim, I don't think Tim's a perfect angel. Probably none next week. So that would be 7, 8, 9. That'd be the 10th. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Might miss 2 of them then, actually. Yeah, might miss 2 of them. Bummer. Maybe I'll do a pre-recording thing. Night, guys. Guys, thanks for spending your Tuesday night with us. Thanks for all the questions and the chit chat. I love it. Great hour tonight. Thank you all. Night, guys. Be safe out there. Stay warm. Stay warm.